I don't know. All right, is that all for the season awards?
That's it. Brett Brown, Coach of the Year.
Stop it.
Okay.
Editor, take that out. So let's talk about. We made our playoff seed predictions last year or last week. Now let's go ahead and we don't need to predict all the way through our playoffs, but who do we think is going to meet in the NBA Finals? Who do we think is going to win? And if you have a why.
Golden State is going to play Boston. I do think Boston will give them a run for their money. I do. So I have Golden State winning in 7 against Boston.
Okay.
I got Golden State and Boston. I have Golden State in 6.
Okay. I also have Boston and Golden State. And Boston in
7.
I know, I'm like, you say anything like 5, I'm going to come across.
It's either going to be 6 or 7. It's either 6 or 7.
Let you explain. I'm going to sit back for a second.
So, in the past, I've started this argument about who would win by just lining up 1 for 1 and going all the way through, the starting lineup. But I think 1 through 12, the Celtics are by far the better team.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. The starting lineup, that's 100 games into the season by that point, assuming that the Warriors don't sweep their first 3 opponents. Because then it's only 96 games into, or 94 games.
I know
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about 100 games into the season.
Mm-hmm.
The starters will not be able to play 48 minutes. So the bench is going to be a factor. And when there's not really a drop-off when you go to the Celtics bench, there's a bit of a drop-off because it's the bench. But when there's not a very big drop-off, I think that's a big deal. I also think when it comes down to it, I think Brad Stevens is the better coach. I think Brad Stevens can out-coach Steve Kerr. I think Brad Stevens can make those in-game adjustments better than Steve Kerr can.
But can he overcome them with the firepower that they have? And we haven't even talked about Andre Iguodala. We haven't even talked about
we're talking about
if he comes back any kind of healthy, you telling me that Brad Stevens can overcome all of that?
I think he potentially could.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. I've said this from the beginning. If DeMarcus Cousins comes back as DeMarcus Cousins that we know, that's
over.
the best roster of all time. And there's
over.
not going to be a solution for anybody.
You can't do anything about that.
But I really do think that the depth of the Celtics, the height of Jason Tatum, I think Jason Tatum by that point will be able to go toe-to-toe. He'll be able to score his 30 if he needs to. I think Kyrie will be able.
Time. Hang on. You're not gonna skate back. I was chill until you said that. Did you tell me he gonna average 30 in the finals?
No, I did not say average.
No, you said he's gonna get his 30, so that's average. That's what you just said.
Then let me rephrase. I think he will be able to get 30. Maybe not average 30, but I think he'll be able to lead the team in scoring.
Ooh,
wait a minute. Wow. So you realize that if they play, because I think the way that matches up, Kevin Durant and Tatum they're gonna be guarding each other.
And the Celtics can switch off on every.
You telling me that Jason Tatum or 30 points over Kevin Durant? Oh Lord!
I'm saying
Lord! They're gonna switch Draymond on him.
Exactly. You telling me that?
And if they switch, they're gonna switch Clay on him. Like,
why would they intentionally switch someone that's not?
No, I'm just saying like screens.
Okay.
About screens, yeah.
Okay, so your only chance is to put Steph Curry in every single screen.
Or to Boogie.
Hey, you can act like you want to. Boogie's a lot better defensively than what you think.
I'm not saying he's bad, but out on the outside, I would take Tatum in it. Tatum went around Embiid. A lot of people are saying Embiid could potentially be Defensive Player of the Year.
Embiid, I've said this before already. I'm gonna say it again. Embiid played well last night.
He did, but Tatum didn't have any trouble when Embiid was on him.
Oh my Lord.
I watched the entire game. Tatum didn't have any trouble when Embiid was on him.
You're acting like Tatum called Embiid out and was going one-on-one with him all night. That is not what happened last night.
It wasn't all night, but it happened multiple times.
That is a lie. You saw those screens all night coming. Nobody communicated, and Tatum just went right to the basket, and people were like,
There were several times where it was Embiid and Tatum one-on-one.
You so want this to be a thing, like where Embiid is just so much under Tatum.
Not at all. Not at all. But there were several times
I can't.
in the first game where Tatum was at Embiid one-on-one and Tatum scored on him and shot right over him.
You realize they trained together in this offseason and Embiid was giving work. Like Tatum admitted, he was like, he got the most of it. But I got my fair share of shots. Embiid was
and then what happened
him.
in the game last night? Tatum was scoring over him. I don't understand. I don't understand what there is to debate about it.
That's not. He would. Oh, okay, I'm over it. This is not a one-on-one game. He has 4 other people you play with.
I understand, but that was the conversation that we got on. I'm saying that if Tatum can get over Embiid, I think he'll be just fine against the Warriors. I'm not saying it's going to be a runaway win by any means.
I can't believe you said
30.
I'm going to make sure you said he's going to get his 30 against the Warriors.
He can
Quote,
get 30.
get his 30 against the
When do
Warriors.
they play the Warriors?
I know.
I'm ready to see that.
KD, you heard that? 30. He said he's going to put up 30 on you.
So anyway.
Woo.
So, you got Celtics in 6 or 7.
Celtics in 6 or 7.
So you're telling me Tatum is going to be the main reason why they beat the Warriors?
I think Tatum will be the leading scorer.
He'll be the Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, that's scary.
Wow.
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to rethink that.
Ooh.
I need Kyrie.
What?
We need Kyrie to be the. They might have to do whatever Durant did last week.
You said
last
that with a
year.
straight face?
Well, I thought about it afterwards. Kyrie might need to be the MVP, so they might need to. Tatum might need to do like 27. Kyrie.
Let me tell you something. I'm so glad you said that because I'm telling you, if they play each other and if Kyrie's not getting the ball in the fourth quarter, he gonna leave Boston. I'm telling you right now, if Kyrie's not getting the ball in the end and the game's on the line, he's leaving. He is leaving that squad. Book it. Book it.
Nope.
Book it. If the way you think it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If that's how it's gonna play, he will leave. Book it.
If they win a championship off of it, he will not go anywhere.
Kyrie wants to be the man. That's what he cares about. He wants to be the man. Anytime he starts to feel like he's not the man, he's out. He's out. He rolling.
There's only been one other time that's happened. There's only been one time that he's left a team.
And he was chill for the first time because LeBron wasn't there, right? So he thought he was the man in Cleveland. He thought he could start to turn it around. LeBron came back. He was like, let me take this back seat. All right. Then when he came back, all right, I'm ready to leave now because that's who he is.
I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay.
Over Clay. Over KD.
That's bold.
Oof.
Bold.
Well, and if you recall, shortly after I phrased it in a way that sounded like averaging, I corrected it.
He's going to get his 30.
I corrected it. So you continuing to go. I'm just going to cut that out.
I want to keep phrasing it. Get his 30.
Right, and I have corrected it since. Shall we keep talking about
this?
Mess
with you. Okay, I got you.
I've corrected it since.
I got you.
When he scores 30 in the finals, coming after you.
For one game, sure. But what's it going to average in the finals if they play each other? What do you think?
24, 25. And I think Kyrie will be right there as well. So maybe they'll be able to. Maybe Danny Ainge will give him a call and be like, "Hey, I need you to give. I know that it's Tatum. I need you to give it to Kyrie. Tatum can get it in a couple years. All right, thanks. Okay. Finals MVP, right. Kyrie Irving. Everyone's gonna be like, huh? Kyrie's gonna be like, yeah.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Wow.
So that's. I mean, it's unanimous. Celtics, Warriors.
Unless, like I said, something crazy happens, but.
See, my thing is, of course, I agree with those two teams, but I don't see, even as great as Boston is, it's going to come down to can they defend Steph, can they defend KD? I don't see a person on the Boston squad that can defend either of those guys.
Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris.
Those are
Marcus Morris is a good pick. I'm saying, what happens if he gets in foul trouble? What other person on that team can D up Kevin Durant? Nobody in the league can. There's no answer for that.
Right. I get that.
So you just have to hope he misses.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to show him different. You have to show him different looks. You have to frustrate him. You have to tell him that he's weak because he'll believe it real quick.
It might drive him these days.
You got to call Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett can just put like a mask on and hide in the stands.
Start giving them elbows. Start giving them elbows and all that stuff.
No. He's gonna have a mask.
Who's gonna D up Steph?
Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown. Or Terry Rozier.
Name Kyrie.
I make sure.
No, I'm going up. You telling me? Because obviously Kyrie has got to be on the floor. He's got to be on the floor. You're telling me they're not gonna put him on a situation where he can be in skates?
Kyrie's gonna have to guard someone.
Klay Thompson?
Right.
As much as Klay moves,
he's
getting cooked. He's getting cooked.
He's gonna have to step up.
I don't see it. Okay, I give it to you.
I don't know. I think obviously once it gets closer towards the end of the season, they're going to be talking about that. When it comes to the Warriors games during the regular season, they're going to be trying to figure out what the right game plan.
We ain't even talked about Boogie yet. Because if he comes back healthy, Horford he gonna take him and Draymond? Because then we're talking about Cousins at center, Draymond possibly at power forward, Klay at the 3. Steph at KD at 3, Klay at 2, and Steph at 1. How you gonna defend that? How you gonna defend that? Yeah. And he would not.
The bench has to come off the bench. So they got to go sit down.
There is no answer for that.
They got to go sit down.
All right, last 2 minutes.
There is no answer for that.
And then
again, if Boogie comes back healthy, which I think he can come back healthy, I don't think it'll be right away.
He's got time. He's got plenty of time.
The estimations that they're giving is he'll be ready like right when the playoffs starts. I don't think that's enough time to be 100% ready.
Yep. Does he have to be 100%?
Yeah, they want to be.
They just maybe 80, 70.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But that's my pick and that's my justification as to why.
Gotcha.
Hopefully Kyrie winds up winning the MVP if it happens, or we might have to keep Rozier, which I might not be too upset about. I'm still mad at Rozier a little bit.
Scary Terry.
It was very scary.
Start getting a little. I'm telling you, you got that dog in him.
It was very
trigger happy, boy.
And last night, when in the first half, Kyrie was 0 for 8, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, we could have just. Anyway, it'll be.
I know. I got you.
I can't wait to see it.
Cool, man.
Cool. Well,
so that's our NBA Finals predictions. Injuries aside, hopefully don't become a factor. Let's jump on to the fourth quarter. We're just going to talk about the storylines that we're most looking forward to this year.